Lemonade appeared way earlier than you might think. It's not even originally from America. It's not even from the homelands of lemons, China, India, and Myanmar. The first written records of lemonade date back to the 12th century Egypt. So, it's now believed that it originated there and then spread across the globe. Still, people make lemonade differently in different countries. In North America and India, lemonade is made of lemon juice, sugar, and water. In Middle East countries, they add crushed mint leaves to it. In the UK, Australia, and New Zealand, lemonade is a carbonated soda with lime and lemon flavor. Traditional lemon and sugar lemonade is exactly what's needed on a hot summer day, and scientists have proven that this kind of drink is indeed thirst-quenching. The sourness of the drink stimulates the salivary glands like nothing else and is very refreshing. Also, in the USA, the 20th of August is a National Lemonade Day, so remember to mark this date on your calendars for the next year. Pink lemonade we all love has its origins in traveling shows, of all places. No one knows for sure which origin story is the real one, but there are two most plausible ones. Henry E. Allott was a teenager from Chicago who ran away from home at the end of the 19th century to join a troupe traveling across the country. One day, he was selling classic lemonade to the spectators and accidentally dropped several red cinnamon candy pieces in a vat. There was a huge line of people waiting to buy lemonade, and he didn't have time to make a new batch. So he continued to sell the lemonade as it was. It was a huge success, and the drink got all sold out. But there is another story, and it's a gross one. A dude named Pete was serving lemonade to the visitors of a show in 1857, and he ran out of water. He ran to the nearest tent to find more water, and there it was, a whole tub where a performer had just washed her red tights. For this reason, the water in the tub was pink. Pete took the dirty water, introduced it as strawberry-flavored lemonade, and used it to keep serving the drinks. The lemonade was a huge success, hopefully due to its color rather than the dirty laundry aftertaste. Of course, modern-day pink lemonade has nothing to do with dirty tights, and not even with cinnamon candy. Pink lemonade is now made by adding a coloring agent to the regular lemonade. The agent can be either natural like raspberry or cranberry juice, or an artificial dye. The taste of pink and regular colored lemonade is almost the same, but many people prefer the pink one. Psychologists believe that it can be due to the calming effect of the pink hue, in comparison to the traditional one with no real color. But pink lemonade isn't the only famous food invented by mistake. For example, raisins were discovered way later than grapes, even though they're also grapes but dried. Someone in ancient Egypt noticed hanging dried grapes, tried them, and loved the taste. But they weren't just food. Raisins were also used for decoration. And they were given as a prize at sports events. A sandwich is a no-brainer, just a bunch of stuff, any stuff, in between two buns. Seems like nothing hard to invent, and still, sandwiches still weren't invented until 1762. Rumor has it that one night, a guy was busy playing cards and didn't want to leave to grab something to eat. But hunger was getting him, so he asked to put his steak between two buns so that he could eat it with his hands right at the gambling table. And that was likely the sandwich that started it all. In 1835, an English lord returned home after years of living in India, only to find out that his favorite sauce didn't exist in England. So he described the taste to a couple of drugstore owners, asking them to make the sauce. They recreated it, but it tasted terrible. They left it where it was and forgot about it. When they rediscovered it 2 years later, it tasted amazing, and they started to produce it, and that's how the world got Worcestershire sauce. Potato chips have a couple of cool stories too. The most famous one goes like this. In 1853, a man came to a restaurant in New York for dinner and ordered fried potatoes. The potatoes weren't crispy enough, and he wasn't shy to complain about it. Out of spite, the chef sliced the potatoes as thinly as possible and fried them to a crisp, willing to put the customer in his place. But it didn't go as planned. The customer loved them, and the potato chip became a thing. Off to ice cream cones. In 1904, a guy was selling waffle-like pastries at a fair. Right next to him, there was another guy who was selling ice cream. At some point, the ice cream guy ran out of dishes and didn't know what to do. So his neighbor rolled his waffles and offered to sell ice cream in them. The story is adorable, but unfortunately, it wasn't the earliest use of ice cream cones. They were invented and patented less than a year before. Still, the waffle and the ice cream guys invented ice cream cones on their own, so let's give them credit. Popsicles were accidentally invented in 1905 by an 11-year-old boy called Frank Epperson. On a cold night, he mixed sugary soda powder with water and then forgot about it. After sitting outside all night, it got frozen. When the boy returned and found it, he had to lick it off the wooden stick he had been stirring the mixture with. He liked it so much that he started producing popsicles. He called them Epsicles, honoring his own name, but later the name evolved into a popsicle. A chimichanga is a deep-fried burrito, and it was also most likely invented by accident. Many people claim to be the ones to accidentally drop a burrito into a deep fryer. Instead of tossing it into the trash, the inventor tried it and was amazed. Dates vary. Some say that it happened in the 1920s, and others claim that chimichangas have only been around since the 1950s. Regardless, it's a great dish that was totally worth the clumsiness. By the way, toasted ravioli have the same story, so if you want to invent a new hit dish, try deep frying something unexpected. Maybe you'll make food history. Nashville hot chicken is believed to be invented in the 1930s when one guy came home late. His partner was furious about it, so she made him chicken covered in all sorts of spices to get back at him. But instead of learning his lesson, the guy loved the dish. The beginning of Nacho's story takes place in 1940, when a group of women walked into a restaurant in Piedras after working hours. The owner, whose nickname was Nacho, had already let the cooks go, so he improvised a dish using whatever was in the kitchen. He fried corn tortilla chips, topped them with slices of pickled jalapenos and cheese, and put it all in the oven. The women loved the dish, called it Nacho Special, and asked for more. The dish was added to the restaurant's menu. Later, Nacho moved and opened his own restaurant called Nacho's. A Slurpee is an American icon, but it's quite young, only being invented in the late 1950s. Omar Knedlik worked at Dairy Queen in Kansas City. Once, a soda fountain broke down. To keep the beverages cool, he put them in the freezer. They turned slushy. And that's how the guy got the idea to create a machine that could make frozen beverages. He even invented the name and designed a logo for the brand. Several years later, 7-Eleven bought the rights to sell the drinks, and they got popular. Along with Slurpee, dipping dots is one of the most recently invented foods. In 1988, a microbiologist wanted an easier way to feed cows, so he started to freeze cow feed. Then he thought a little bit more and figured out that you could freeze other foods too. So he started to freeze ice cream, and it was a blast.
That's it for today. So hey, if you pacified your curiosity, then give the video a like and share it with your friends. Or if you want more, just click on these videos and stay on the bright side.